Welcome to Ask the Expert with noted radio host Steve Sleeper. Each week, Steve interviews entrepreneurs and professionals and shares their intriguing stories of success and service. Now, here's radio veteran Steve Sleeper.
Our guest today is Seth Wyatt with WyattWorks Plumbing in Charlotte, North Carolina. WyattWorks is the easy-to-reach, quick-to-respond plumbing company that gets the job done. They answer the phone 24/7. I asked Seth to tell me about his company.
We're a residential, family-owned and operated service business that started in Cleveland, Ohio, 41 years ago, and we've expanded it into the Charlotte, North Carolina market, which is where I live. So we're truly a family operation. My parents are active daily in the business, as well as my younger sister and my two brothers, as well as myself. And we just focus on residential service and repair work and giving our customers as many different options as possible with a high level of service and professionalism when we do the work.
Okay, so what are the most common plumbing issues you see?
If I could summarize it, it's going to come down to something that's providing water to the home, which would be a faucet, which could be a toilet that is filling incorrectly, and then as well as water going out of the house, which goes into the drain world. So we see a lot of issues with shower drains, bathroom drains, main sewer line drains going out. That's another big thing as well. And then other utilities such as like a tankless hot water heater or a water heater itself, the traditional kind, those are obviously, most of the time it's just going to be regular use of the drain. And over a long period of time, a lot of debris, hair and soap scum and things like that will build up over a long period of time. And that's generally the biggest problem. Sometimes, especially what we see in older homes or just a newer home that might have not been put together correctly, the drain is either failing in one way or another, so the pipe could be cracked or corroded. If it's outside, we've seen roots get into the line, and that can also cause issues with drains.
Now, you also mentioned faucets. What causes a faucet to leak?
There are gaskets, little O-rings inside the faucet. And as you can imagine, over a long period of time, opening and closing those faucets, moving the faucet around over years, those will eventually just wear out. And from there, water will make its way through and start leaking. So what can be done there is, of course, always replacing the faucet and getting a new one with a warranty, or just taking the faucet apart and replacing those little parts within the faucet to correct it.
How much water do you think is wasted from a dripping or leaking faucet?
Well, that can vary dramatically. Over a long period of time, if you've got a faucet that you're not paying attention to and it's dripping and dripping and dripping, you'll definitely notice a change on your water bill, just as if you had a faucet open a little bit. And then, other times if the leak's really, really bad and you don't know, you're going to see a drastic change. So it can really just vary depending on the severity of the leak.
Now, you also mentioned water heaters when we were talking about common plumbing issues, and I just had to replace a water heater, and how I found out about it, that it was going out was I was taking a shower and I lost hot water, which is not the best way to learn your water heater is dead. Is there a way to tell if a water heater is going out before losing hot water?
We always put about an 8 to 12 year timeline on a water heater. And what we suggest is to have somebody come by and look at your plumbing system at least on an annual basis. From there, we'll be able to put eyes on the tank and then give you the options of repairing or replacing something. It's also important to flush out your water heater about every 12 to 18 months. A lot of sediment gets built up in the bottom, making it very inefficient, and that can prolong the life of the water heater as well. But again, if you start seeing, corroding, rusting on the bottom part of the tank, that's a big indicator. And then really probably the biggest is just age. If you're up into the 10-year-old time frame there, you might want to start considering what it would take to replace that tank before you have a leak.
Do I need to worry about hidden leaks?
I think it comes back to having a thorough evaluation of your plumbing system. Experienced plumber would be able to suggest if you should be or not. If you do have a hidden leak somewhere in your crawl space, in your basement, in your wall, you're probably going to find out about it sooner than later. So it's, again, kind of goes back to just making sure that at some point, if you live in your home and you've been there for a while, that you have somebody come over and give a thorough evaluation of what your system looks like.
Okay, and here's another one for you, Seth. What causes low water pressure?
If you're on the city water source, there's a device that controls the pressure going into your home. So the city delivers a certain amount of pressure. It's generally really, really high. And then houses have what's called a pressure reducing valve that sits on the customer's side. And that, again, can fail or sometimes just need to be adjusted. And that a lot of the time is a result of low water pressure in a home. So those are replaced ever so often or adjusted to meet the needs of the house and whatever the customer's needs are.
Okay, now, as opposed to trying to do it myself or having my brother-in-law who says he's handy do it for me, why should I hire a licensed plumber?
So we feel being a licensed plumber really protects you, protects your home, especially if you're looking to sell something sell your house in the future, that the work is permitted, and you have to have a license to pull permits. So that's really important. And if you add something to your house or change something and then there's no permit pulled on it, that can really come back and bite you. The other thing is just to have somebody that's taken the time and put the effort in to go get their license. And that shows a lot of dedication and willingness to pay attention and to learn. We also can then hold, the proper insurance. So if something were to fail or damage your home, you've got somebody you can lean on as someone that can help you, correct that.
Okay, Seth, and then my final question here. As we're recording this podcast, it's the middle of June 2020. So we're about 3 months, maybe a little over 3 months into the COVID-19 pandemic. So how are you handling service calls during this time?
In the beginning, it was really, as it was for anybody, very unknown on what we could do. So we brought our whole staff together, got everybody in a big meeting room, and we discussed what options we have. And what we decided on is, we're just going to take all the information we can get on a day-to-day basis. And I think the biggest thing that we started implementing is simply just having an open dialogue with the customers when they call in. So they'll call in, one of our lovely CSRs will pick up, and they'll just ask these questions. Have you traveled? Are you feeling okay? Are you comfortable with us coming into your home? Would you prefer that we wear gloves, masks, shoe covers? And then the customer will then kind of direct us in what way they'd like us to approach their home. So some people we don't even interact with. We don't come across them at all. We stay outside or stay distant from them. So really, it's just having the open dialogue and making sure that we're giving customers what they want as we enter their home.
Our thanks to Seth Wyatt with WyattWorks Plumbing in Charlotte, North Carolina, for being on Ask the Expert today. Call WyattWorks Plumbing at 704-781-8500.
Thanks for listening to Ask the Expert with Steve Sleeper. Join us next time as entrepreneurs and professionals share their intriguing stories of success and service.